Hello everyone, I am Ladybug Minion Michelle, and today for this Animation Friday, I thought it would be interesting to briefly address the It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown Halloween special. Yes, the Charlie Brown specials, in particular the holiday ones, I think are rather famous, and they've sort of held this like high standard when it comes to what we think about when we associate with the holidays, in particular, Christmas, Halloween, and Thanksgiving too, actually, because they have a Thanksgiving one as well. So, the interesting thing about Charlie Brown in particular is that even though the animation isn't as stellar, sort of similar to, South Park, how this animation's not really all that spectacular, it still offers something I think fairly simple but yet interesting. And the thing about this special is it really knows how to appeal towards children by putting in a lot of elements. And as I explain sort of what the special is about, you'll kind of get an understanding of what ultimately is sort of going on and how it's trying to relate to its audience. So, the special, again, has a lot of the traditional elements that we would associate with Halloween, in particular with children, from trick-or-treating to parties to pumpkin carving, things of that nature are littered throughout this episode, and you sort of do feel like you're going back to that place to where you were when you were a child. And I think it definitely works because it feels like it's taking you to sort of this timeless place. There's a lot of innocence and charm also to this particular episode. And a lot of the Charlie Brown episodes, though, do kind of have this. This one, I think, does it in a fairly unique way, because not only do we have sort of the focus being Halloween, we also have this this idea that comes out of the episode that sort of relates to the holidays and in particular to Halloween, because you will see how one of the characters, Linus, ultimately believes that there is a great pumpkin that comes on Halloween and gives them presents, sort of similar to Santa Claus, except somewhere in Linus's thinking he probably got the two mixed up. But it really shows you the kind of thinking that in particular children can have during this time of year. So it I think really works for what it's going for, and it's just very cute in that respect. And again, even though the animation, like I said before, isn't all that special, it still feels like it's trying to appeal to children because it doesn't look like something that an adult could or would draw. It looks like something that a kid would draw. If like the fingers, like sometimes you'll notice that within the Charlie Brown episodes, like the fingers, sometimes they're like inconsistent, and then just certain movements might not be as well detailed. But despite that, it does feel a lot like, a child made this up. A child sort of created this. And that's why I think Charlie Brown in particular has drawn such a huge appeal over the years. Sort of similar to South Park, I guess you could say, but I think South Park's more known for the jokes. But I think in a way Charlie Brown is known for its animation in the sense of it being very childlike and being drawn to a level where it's more like something that you would get from a child experience rather than an adult experience. So that's something that's, I think, very interesting and worthy of note. Also, this episode, again, has all of the aspects that we see in Charlie Brown episodes, from him trying to kick the football, to Snoopy, you know, going on a little adventure, as you'll see. And then there's also the nice music, and you know, it has all of those um, things within there. So it tries to sort of balance this idea out of putting in Halloween and also putting in um, the things that we would associate with Charlie Brown. So that I think works itself out fairly well, even though at times it kind of meanders at points, especially with Snoopy's story. It's kind of not really related to Halloween. But at the same time, I think, again, it plays out in a way like how a child's memory, I think, would play out. So, and someone who is in that state of thinking. So it I think really works in that respect if you sort of look at it through, if you look at the episode as a whole. There's and again, like I've been trying to sort of say, there's not a whole lot of plot, and again, there's sort of this meandering. But again, the focus is on Linus in particular, who believes that there's this great pumpkin out there, and although that's not true, really, he ultimately convinces Sally, Charlie's little sister, to stay with him and see if the great pumpkin will come, and then you'll sort of see the results from that, and kind of like the messages that that it's trying to get out of that sort of plot point, I guess you could say. But there, again, it's just also these other things going on, like the party, you know, the trick-or-treating, all that stuff's in there. It's just not like it just doesn't play out like a movie or a story. It more plays out as like a series of moments. And I think that's really what Halloween and childhood really reflects on. It reflects on memories, on moments. And I think these kinds of moments, although you could consider them sort of plot points, they don't really ultimately end up amounting to anything, but they do sort of draw in some themes. And I think that really works. And I will say lastly, that I think is something unique to Charlie Brown in particular, as well as to this episode, is that the children are rather intelligent. These kids seem to have an understanding and can comprehend certain things. And I think that's really refreshing to see kids being presented sort of in that light, because I think it's a very positive sort of message. Because I think kids are smarter than we give them credit for, and it's nice to see that there is this one show that sort of, you know, brings in the sort of intelligence within them, and you know, the insight that they have. So I think that's something that's very unique and special, and is definitely something that makes Charlie Brown rather unique. And I think in particular this episode really just showcases to children all of the things that Halloween has to offer, while at the same time doing it in the name of Charlie Brown. But ultimately, I think that's really all I can say about this special in particular. If there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, week, month, and year. And unfortunately, yes, we'll be having a minion conference, so the next two videos, Saturdays and Sundays, will have to be put off. I'll also note that within the description. So just so that you're aware, Saturdays and Sundays video, and including Mondays, probably won't be posted till Monday. Because there's going to be some things going on, and we all have to be there. So ultimately, I think that's really all I can say, though. Thank you so much for watching, and have a pleasant month of Halloween.